This is a tutorial on how to recreate the character Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas. Most of these items listed here have previously been used in tutorials or will be used in others. I first scooped up some modelling wax. It may be stiff, so roll it into a small ball in between your hands to transfer some of your body heat and soften the wax. Then place it towards the centre of your eyebrow and using your finger smudge it outwards. The reason you do it this way round is so that the wax isn't fighting against the direction of your eyebrow hair growth. You can save any spare wax by putting it back into the palette. With this process, it's best to have excess wax than not enough. Once you have repeated it on the other side, your eyebrows now can't be seen through face paint, and you have an even layer to work over. To start off, apply a solid white base coat using a sponge. This may take a couple of layers for it not to be patchy. Then going back in with the same sponge, use the pale blue face paint to create harsh contours by blending it into the cheekbones and towards the forehead and under the jaw. To form the character's thin neck, bring the blue face paint down from the jaw towards your collarbones. This doesn't matter too much about the shape as it will be defined later. Blend the same colour onto your eyelid and slightly under, which again shows where the contour should be. Then using white, correct where there may be gaps in the base colour and highlight the Cupid's bow. To create the double eyelid crease Sally has, highlight the part closest to the eye and the eyelid. To allow this time to dry, use the pale blue to start to contour your nose. You can use the smaller clean side to blend towards your cheek. Now that the white part has mainly dried around the eye area, you can tap the blue under the eye bag to gently create the first crease. Then, to form a more solid shape of the rounded eye, use a paintbrush to apply the blue face paint into a similar shape of a crescent moon. You can blend this paint out with your finger so it's more subtle. Still using the paintbrush, add strokes under the eye to create the eye bag. Keep alternating between blending and applying the paint in the shape of a blindfold across your eye. Rinse out the brush and then use white face paint to highlight the triangle-shaped tip of the nose that Sally has. Also paint across the highest point of the bridge of your nose so it appears thinner. Then continue to highlight between the creases that were painted earlier with blue. Also re-highlight the Cupid's bow. The reason you may have to re-highlight or determine creases a second time is that they might have been blended on top of by accident with another colour whilst painting the rest of your face. Layer more white face paint over the eyebrow area to make sure that they are evenly concealed. Pick some black up onto your brush and then mix it into the blue face paint palette. This creates a blue-toned grey to be used for the deep creases of the eye and to also bring up under the brow to highlight the deep eye socket. To have a more dramatically contoured nose, also use this colour to paint on each side of the nose and blend. Paint it under the tip of your nose to shorten the nose. Also line your lips with the grey and blend it out under towards your chin. Then using black, apply it similar to the eyeliner, but only on the outer part. Afterwards, draw a line into the deepest part of the crease and blend. To draw on these stitches that Sally has, use the black face paint and a thin paintbrush. First start by drawing the main line and smudge it out using your finger so it doesn't look too cartoony. Just focus on getting these lines accurate, as this is the baseline for the crossed over individual stitching, as the stitches will be added later. It can be helpful to have a reference photo for stitches whilst drawing these. Then use a square thin brush to fill in your neck to create the negative space that would be there, and add the outline to the neck. Fill in under the jaw and round out your face using the black paint. Use the sharp edge of the brush to create a deeper thin shadow to the cuts. And then line the lips. When lining the lips, make sure that they look sharp and triangular, and then fill them in. Use the face paint to brush onto your eyelashes, acting like a mascara. To draw onto the stitches, use the flat edge of the brush and stamp on the lines. These don't have to be too accurate and can overlap and be wonky. Doing this actually makes it look more realistic. Use the damp sponge to wipe off the paint from the centre part of your lips and apply the red lip liner to create her ombre lip look. Use a tiny amount of white face paint to add highlights to the stitches, which gives them depth, and do any final touch-ups that may be necessary. This is what mine looked like in the end, and thank you for watching.